This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, saving your day from boredom with the best podcasting entertainment.
Hello and welcome to episode 43 of Too Old to Game. I'm your fear-filled host, Dave Oster. Today we're joined by the Mark Weber.
What's up, Denny's?
Great to have you back, Mark.
Man.
And the original man himself, Ricky Widmer.
What's up? He's back. He's back.
He is back. He is alive. He's better than ever. For all those concerned, Mark, small hiatus due to work and vacation. It's allowed. Yep. We promise. Not going to knock you off just for that. We've got a great show for you guys today. To kick things off, we have... I don't know, which one do you want to start with? I should have wanted this beforehand, but like two things. We've got the Play of the Union, or the State of Play, as it's correctly called.
Dave likes to call it the Play of Union.
Play of the Union's kind of fun. And the other thing that's going on is there's a Senate bill that's been introduced that would ban paid loot boxes in games, especially aimed at kids. They're both great topics. We're going to give you both. It's just which one are we going to go with first, guys?
I say let's leave the loot box for second. Let's leave the more heated argument for last.
All right. Then let's kick it off with the funness that is the State of Play.
But I'm going to say before State of Play, tell them about Patreon. What do we got to do?
You got to give us money. Give me money. Money me now.
Every month.
If you hit the $10 tier, also known as the gold tier.
Such a prestigious gold tier.
The gold tier. I don't know why I do the gold tier.
The gold tier. You want to be you want to basically be a Lannister tier because it's red background on our Patreon page and it's gold.
You did that on purpose.
No, I actually didn't. I just thought of it now.
All right. Well, if you do hit that gold tier at $10 a month, you can join us or any other podcast on this network for an episode of your choosing, your topic, your voice heard on our live shows. So it's pretty awesome. There are the silver and bronze tiers, which get you sweet perks as well every month. Some free goodies, I should say. But let's get straight down to business. The State of Play happened, and it had something that I've been waiting for too damn long. The most important thing. I know there's other stuff that happened at this, but Final Fantasy VII Remake has been something that's been just kind of like floated out there for the last 5 years. Yeah. And it's like the in case of emergency, pull this lever to get people's hype back. Because like, oh yeah, guys, PlayStation sales looking down. Well, Final Fantasy VII Remake, right? Am I right, guys? Am I right? And obviously this has been a long and grueling process because the work itself was shipped off to another company other than Square Enix. And they basically dropped the ball, and they had to start over from scratch after realizing how bad of a game they were making. So it came back in-house, done correctly, and right now this trailer, basically the first mission of the game, came in and hit me right in the nostalgia. Like, it was, the music played, the visuals look amazing, because of course it's remastered for beautifulness, but on top of that, they also tweaked the combat system to be more live action, less turn-based. So,
that's
you
where
okay
it loses
with that?
me. That's where it loses me.
Because this is a remake or remaster.
It's a remake of what I consider oftentimes to be some of their better combat systems.
Yeah.
I always kind of feel like the Final Fantasy games have been their best when it is a pure, just kind of turn-based type of system. And I shouldn't say pure because they kind of tweak it and make their own spins for various games.
Yeah.
But to go kind of away from turn-based, just it's one of those things where it's like, you gave me everything I want, and then you did this one thing that kind of ruins it.
I don't think it ruins it.
The combat is what you do half the time.
It's what I do half the time, but I almost think of this as, it's almost like, did you just want the same exact game remade?
Better,
or
that's exactly what I want.
Or do you want what I'm looking at this? This is like, hey, what if Final Fantasy VII was made today? We're still going to give you everything you like with how beautiful it looks.
The storyline.
But we are going to make it to where today you don't see a lot of turn-based combat. You see a lot more action combat to where that really isn't a like, oh man, downvote for me. I'm still going to play it. I'm still going to buy it. I'm still going to have fun with it. To where maybe that was something where it's like, hey, we're not in a turn-based kind of community anymore.
No, we totally still are. We totally still are. There's totally tons of games out there that do turn-based.
Where it's like, you know what, guys like us who are old will play it because that's what we remember.
Absolutely.
But if I want to reach a younger generation, how much of that younger generation are going to be like, fuck, turn-based? Like, this is boring. Like, that's the
It's
thing
a little
I think
slower.
about.
It's a little less engaging, but also it gives you time to think. And that does matter for how you plan combat.
You have to be smart about what you're doing. You have
Exactly.
to plan your things well, and you have to keep in mind who goes next. But to address your thing, though, the problem I have with let's take this old game and let's make it as if it was a now game.
Yeah.
Is think about. Let's go back to some music, since we all like music.
We do.
Let's think about a guy like Elvis, right? Let's think about some Elvis music. So it's just classic. You put on some Elvis, and it just sounds exactly the way it, it represents an era very well. Now let's take that same stuff and let's compress the fuck out of it. Let's put some limiters on there. Let's crank and saturate everything.
See, but I don't think this isn't that. This is more on, if I'm going to use the music reference, it's more of like, hey, I really like that Elvis tune. I'm going to take that, lay that underneath as a beat, and then rap over it. That's what I think this is. Because I'm still getting the main gist of the game. I'm just putting my own take on it.
It's supposed to be the same game.
Yeah, we expected a remastering of, and we've seen games remastered for years now.
Because which side are you on? Are you on you love it or you hate it?
I'm riding that fucking fence, boys. I want to love it because it is a more engaging game, but is it the game that I was expecting? And that's the problem. Is in my head I'm going, Final Fantasy VII is a game I've watched beaten 5 different times before I got to play it my first time.
I never got off the train.
You never got off the train because you got a bunk version of the game.
I'm basically like Childish Gambino, where in the one song he goes, I never got off the bus. Ricky never got off the train.
Which is just awful because you missed out on a great childhood experience.
There's a million different ways you can play it now. You can play it on your Switch.
You absolutely can. And for me, I look at that and I'm like, all right, I love the game. I experienced it. If they polished up and just gave me a shiny version of it without, with a billion more polygons, I would enjoy the game. I would absolutely still enjoy it. But now that they're changing the play style of the game, I'm intrigued. I absolutely am, because I think that changes the way that you can play the game, that changes the level of fun that you can have in combat, because I'll be honest, the combat system was also great bathroom break time. You also could gimmick the hell out of certain boss fights via that combat system, the 7777 rule. But there were a lot of things where it was based around that combat, and now that we're changing that, how are you going to beat Ruby Monster? That's my first thing. I'm like, well, shit. That thing was a motherfucker to beat without using some fun things that they left in the game for us. So I look at that and I go, okay, it's already changing one experience that was like pivotal in that gameplay, because that was like one of the giant like roadblocks in the game. Mark, I don't know if you agree.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And I feel like turn-based games oftentimes, unfortunately, do have that. That is kind of a drawback to them. That there's often is that way you can, like, if you can figure out the system, you can get through some of these things very well. Like, as soon as you start to figure out, all right, what are the things that this character is going to be weak to? What is the right combination of people, of moves, of weapons that I put on?
Cast X4, Knights of the Round Table. Like where's that at? What are summons going to look like?
I just kind of feel...
I just thought of that. What are summons going to look like?
It's going to be beautiful.
Watch Kingdom Hearts. That's what they're going to look like. This is basically Final Fantasy VII with the Kingdom Hearts battle system.
See, I don't know if I
you
like
know
that.
right?
I just don't like
but the
that,
thing that's cool about it is, like, in Kingdom Hearts, I just play a Sora that has a Keyblade.
Yeah.
Could you imagine playing as Barrett, like they showed in the trailer, and actually having to aim the gun arm?
No,
the Gatling gun and, like, fucking shoot. Like, that's to me where I am hyped for this. Maybe it's because I like Kingdom Hearts, and I'm so used to that kind of a style right now, going through 3 games of that. I know I had to wait long enough for that third one.
Yeah.
But going through 3 games of that to where I'm like, is this going to be, what if Final Fantasy VII was Kingdom Hearts? What if it was made when Kingdom Hearts came out rather than when it did on the PS1?
Which is fine if that's the direction they want to go in. They can do that.
But do you still call it Final Fantasy VII?
I think they still can call it that. I don't have a problem with that. It's just kind of, it bugs me of the sense of, because now you're taking something I love and you're turning it into something I don't want. Because I look at that, because I remember asking you guys, I've never played Kingdom Hearts games before.
Yeah.
And I asked you guys, is it turn-based? And you told me no, and I said, well, then I don't want it. And like that alone kind of killed it for me. But I think of Final Fantasy 15. and I played the demo for it that you had to buy. I think it was Final Fantasy like 0 or whatever. You had to buy something to get this demo.
Yeah.
And I get it, or it was just when you download it. I don't really remember. But anyways, Type 0? I don't know. It just, the combat, as soon as I got into combat, I was like, whoa, this is not what I want on a Final Fantasy game.
Yeah.
And that alone killed all my hype for Final Fantasy 15, and I just didn't buy it. Because that was not the kind of experience that I was hoping to have. And maybe I could have given it a shot, and maybe I would have grown to like it a little bit more.
Yeah.
But that's just kind of my issue with this. This makes me feel like I might pull a Dave and say, maybe I'll just watch somebody play it instead.
I mean,
because then it's like, that type of combat just doesn't reach out to me in the same way.
They basically are lifting the storyline, which I thought was pretty epic at the time. Looking back on it, I still think it's pretty good. Hold up versus all-timers, sure. And then we're basically like carving out the chunk for combat system, which raises the question on item usage. And like you said, if they do go with the Kingdom Hearts style.
Yeah, which item usage I don't think takes a huge hit because like you still had to manage your items in Kingdom Hearts.
Right, but it takes a turn for you in
where this
in
is
turn-based combat,
where this is a lot harder
live action.
In my mind, where it's like I've got to move while dodging, while using the D-pad to switch over and get to my potion.
Gonna be, Monster Hunter style, where I'm sitting there cooking up a little bit over here while I got a dragon there.
You don't have to cook. You just got to make sure you're equipped before the fight.
I'm just saying. So I look at that.
Your Palico's making all the fucking food for you.
You did that before, but I mean, those long hunts, you got to do your own too. And we'll hit Monster Hunter World in a little bit, maybe. But back on Final Fantasy, when you remove such a chunk of the gameplay, where it visually was amazing, and I love the summons because it was like, first it was just super impressive. Like I will never forget the first time that I summoned like Bahamut, Neo Bahamut.
Yeah.
Any of the summons, to be honest, they were all
Dave's
pretty...
like, I just really love Bahamut.
Like, Bahamut was my go-to G.
Right.
But, like, the Knights of the Round, it was a 2.5 minute thing.
Yeah.
Like, how insane is that to think about that? You just sat there and stared at a screen. Well, it played a fucking video for you. Like...
Which is awesome.
It was awesome, but also when you, like, cast X4 on it, it's like...
No, it's great.
Which now I wonder, I mean, bringing in Kingdom Hearts...
Yeah.
I wonder if now with the summons, if they're going to be able to do cooler things with it. Where in a turn base, it was, here it is, boom, explosion, it's dead.
Yeah.
But like, for example, in Kingdom Hearts 3, there was, I think it was called like King's Roar or something. And you summoned it and it had like a Simba came out and he roared. And then basically you rode Simba around and were able to do 2 different attacks and jump and stuff. I wonder if that's going to be
a different level of interaction.
You summon it, and then it's like you're interacting as that summon and can kind of control it for a little bit.
I feel like that's so OP.
That would
for Final Fantasy style, like what you're summoning. You know what I really wish though with Final Fantasy VII, and I had hype for it because they remastered Final Fantasy X.
They did,
and 10-2. But really, what we care about is 10.
10-2, that's the one I remember playing.
Yeah, 10-2 is fine, but I just love Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy 10 is still one of my favorite Final Fantasy.
I love
the one
7,
where
8,
it was-
9, and 10. Like
Yeah.
I literally just love them
10-2
all.
was just the chicks, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
Ricky's like, yes.
yes.
I remember
The
playing
chicks.
that one with
The
they
chicks
had
that
guns.
suddenly were wearing a lot less clothing.
Yeah.
And I just, with
you
Final
had to play
Fantasy
dress up.
10, the thing I love about it was it still was that turn-based, but you had, and Final Fantasy 9 looked great too, but Final Fantasy 10 looked awesome, and then they remastered it and it looked even better.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping that now, Blitzball was a terribly broken game, but I loved it so much.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping that 7 would be just a next step from Final Fantasy X. Like, it's just going to look so much better, yet we're still going to have that same classic type of turn-based stuff. But, I'm glad that it's finally going to happen. They kind of made me a little less excited for it.
It's long overdue. I can't wait till E3, and I'm hoping they drop a longer trailer where we see some more gameplay of it, because honestly, I'm still up in the air. I've rewatched the scene of combat 4 times.
Talking about Sony dropping it, because they're not going to be at E3. I don't know if
There's
doing
more
their
to come
own-
in June, so we will definitely see more Final Fantasy Final Fantasy VII Remake around E3.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the
Sony
thing.
doesn't own the rights to Final Fantasy VII.
Do
Square
we
Enix
have
does.
any time?
Okay.
Any time on when it's going to come out? yet?
No.
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now
still.
we are just we've seen the first mission of gameplay, and that's it.
Do you think Square Enix would drop a trailer during their? Because they had the
reason
whole
not
thing
to.
of,
Yeah.
I think they were the ones where they're taking Sony's time slot at E3. And everyone,
that would make a lot of
and
sense.
Everyone's thinking, oh my God, are we going to get the Avengers game? Like, are we going to
We've
see
been
the
waiting
Avengers
on that for
game?
a while now.
Yeah.
And there was actually a job posting for, I think, some key position as far as like screenwriting for the game.
Yeah.
That's still out there, which kind of made a lot of people pause and go, wait, how much of the game's built yet? But let's continue on through this state of play journey. Monster Hunter World doing a little bit of updates, I should say, as far as their visuals in game. They've added in the new twist of, hey, we get cold now. Iceborne expansion. I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound that douchey when I say it, but yeah,
It's winter.
It is the Iceborne expansion.
winter.
It's okay to say you fell off of Monster Hunter World.
I did. You beat the game normally, and then it's like the grind to infinity in that game was somehow less attractive to me than it was in Diablo 3.
Yeah, and I mean, the story sucked. I'm just going to flat out say it. Like, the story sucked where I even fell off because if I wasn't playing with, because I had you I'd play with, and then also not Sean Anderson, but our friend Sean.
Yep.
And my cousin were playing.
Yeah.
And I'd play with them, and I don't know if all four of us got to play once.
We did.
But like
It was
it's
fairly
either
early, but
all
yeah.
four of us. It was me and them. I know me and you played, and it was one of those. After I beat the story, it's like, well, I could just hunt the same monsters over and over and
But
try to.
harder.
Sure can.
And get cooler gear for your Palico.
Yeah, but then I was sitting there and I'm thinking, but what does the gear do for me?
Lets
Like,
you
what-
get better at
there's,
killing
like-
monsters to kill harder monsters.
And that to me is where I fell off. We're like, at least like for, wow, hey, I'm getting this gear because there are raids and there are other, like, if there were like kind of unique hunts, then it would have kept
There were
me in.
some. There were some. I don't know if you got the depth yet, but
And I wonder if in Iceborne, because a lot of the monsters that I was seeing in the trailer seemed like big monsters. They didn't seem like, hey, here's a little T-Rex that you're going to get. It was like, whoa,
the scale was pretty
here's
high.
a big freaking dragon, or wow, here's a big
you kinda
freaking
have
bat.
to be, right? Because everybody has beaten the game by now.
Yeah.
Who's going to keep playing it?
True.
So you need to give them some kind of more end game, would be my thought. Quick question about Palico.
Yes.
Is that just a cat?
It's like
It's
a
your,
cat,
it's
yeah.
a pal.
It's your battle cat.
Yeah, it's your cat pal. Cool, I like that.
It heals you and stuff.
You can dress him up in so many
The
costumes.
fact that it's called a Palico is awesome.
It is. No, I 100%
You
agree.
get
And
to
that is
design
something
it
where
however you want.
that is something that I'm surprised they didn't make like a billion little what are the little guys called?
Funko
Pop things.
Pops.
Funko Pops, yeah. Palico Funko Pops would have been fucking amazing.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Because there's so many cute outfits.
For all the different kinds.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I like it.
But yeah, no, it looks like it's a good expansion. It's fun. Like the game itself is fun. It's challenging because you continue to grind up against harder and harder and harder. I don't know. It's not a huge thing for me, but I think if you're still playing Monster Hunter World or you got that itch to go back, you got a great reason to now.
The thing that would get me to go back for Iceborne is that the monster, because of the snow like theme,
Yeah.
the monsters look different than what I've seen. Like before, it was like, oh, here's a dragon in a forest. Oh, did you like that dragon? Well, you're gonna fight this dragon in a desert.
Yeah,
Ooh.
sand.
Oh, you're gonna fight this dragon in a volcano. Ooh, it's like, all right, I get it.
Dragons around the world.
I get it. But with this one, it's like, yes, I know there's that one dragon at the end.
Yeah.
But just that it's like a change of scenery where
Yeah.
it's like, I wonder if like the snow, because it's a different terrain, like if the snow is like higher in this area, is that going to slow your movement speed down? Like that to me would be cool where it's like, hey, the weather is actually going to affect how you can fight in this kind of new snowy environment for Monster Hunter World.
That'll be very interesting. I don't know. I'm not getting too hyped about it because I know I'm not going to play it.
I'll probably play it. I'll probably check it out the day it comes out and then be like, okay, that's cool. Back to what I'm doing.
Back to what I'm doing. Another short one that we're going to give some love to is River Bond.
Yeah, that was cool.
It's a couch co-op game. They claim it's dungeon grindy-esque.
Yeah.
The art style is unique and fun to it. It kind of has, I think you described it as like the Minecraft-esque.
Yeah, that's what it would look like to me. Like I couldn't put my finger on exactly where I've seen that art style before.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it kind of looks like a lot of those more indie games like Terraria and things like that, where it's not exactly like that, but it has that same type of feel to it. I know I'm forgetting one of them, too. But yeah, I mean, it looks kind of cool. Couch co-op's always an awesome thing.
Yeah, I couldn't talk this MFer into doing it ever. It took you
for Diablo?
For Diablo or for Borderlands.
Maybe this time. Maybe you guys can buy a...
Okay, the thing with Borderlands, Dave, you got to understand is I played 1 and 2 before... I played 1 before you even knew what Borderlands was. And then 2, it was like, hey, let's play Borderlands. Oh, I remember playing that game a long time ago. Where 3... I will play it.
He's a hipster, but I lapped him several times in logged hours.
I played it once, and I was like, okay, that's good. And then
But you didn't even beat the game is what killed me. You played through the first time, and you got to level 30 or whatever. You didn't hit 60. You didn't hit the end game cap in 2.
Yeah, no, I played the story, and I beat the story.
That's not beating the game, though.
Because, for me, it was at the time of, I had no one to play with. And then I had other stuff that I was doing when Dave really got into it. And then I played the pre-sequel, Mark, and the pre-sequel sucked.
Yep.
Or is it the prequel? Is that what it's called?
No, pre-sequel.
Yeah, whatever the one for
it was less
awesome,
good.
The Handsome Jack collection I had, because we played it twice, Dave, and we got to the same part and quit.
That was hilarious. Times. We had that deja vu moment of this is where we gave up on this game.
We ended up quitting here the first time.
Yeah, but I mean, I've beaten the game. I've beaten all the games. But point being, couch co-op.
Borderlands 3 will be different. I promise.
It fucking better be.
He's not. He's gonna stop halfway through.
Yeah.
Dave's looking at Mark like, Mark, we're buying it for you too.
Mark, you're in on this game, unfortunately.
I don't think you'll be thrilled with me playing this game.
Riverbound, though, couch co-op. I think it's cool, unique. It's something fun, and it hits a younger audience.
Yeah.
So good on them. Looks like it should be a good game. And they're doing some crossover as far as their skins. So great job by them.
It hit me in the face. Crossy Road. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
It's the same graphics as... So Crossy Road is a mobile game where it's kind of like Frogger. Where you're basically crossing the street.
It sounds like
Frogger.
Yeah. It sounds like the generic version of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crossy Road I played a few times on my mobile phone when I was really into.
Yeah.
It's like if you want to play
Flappy
Plumber
Bird.
Jump,
Yeah. Jumpin' Plumber?
Yeah.
You got Jumpin' Plumber on your phone?
It's a great game.
It's me, Jump a Plumber.
God. Froggy. Wait, what was it? What?
Crossy Road.
Crossy Road. That's going on the map.
I have to app store it right now. I have to look at it. Oh, you already got it up. You got a little bird. That's great. Yep, you're a little bird. You're crossing the road.
Oh man!
And you hit the phone to bloop bloop, and then you can move left and right.
The thing I'll say about this game over Frogger, it's a lot more fun to watch a bird jump up and down. So,
but then you could so it's how far you got, and then there's even parts where it's like a train comes by and you got to avoid the train.
Oh no, not a train.
The logs are in each hop is a number, and you see how many you can get, but then you get credits to buy different skins.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I just want to be a chicken.
Sometimes you're not a bird.
No, I just want to be a chicken. That's great. Because this is what I'm watching right now, is this chicken.
But that is it not the same art style as...
It's very... Yeah, I mean, it has that same blocky kind of look to it.
That's what Games Radar referred to it as a voxel art style.
Oh, okay.
Which is cool. Next game up was Predator.
I think you're going to have to turn this off because I can't
Mark's just done. Mark's checked out for the show now. Thank you,
Ricky. 1240 video about Crossy Road.
If you need to just
Crossy Road's world record of 1,500 plus points.
If you need to just waste an hour, just put on some Crossy Roads and just stare at it. It is very mesmerizing.
And this is why you watch us, right? This is the concept you want.
This is exactly why you watch us.
You want to watch us watch
Crossy Road. Yes. MVP reacts to Crossy Road.
Oh, man, we got to make it happen.
It's pretty great.
All right. Predator Hunting Grounds was basically just a short trailer. It didn't show us anything, but we know who's making it. We know what the gameplay's going to be like. It's an attractive style of game where you get to play multiple people versus one person. One person's got a little bit of overpoweredness to him to try to balance out the scales. Can it really balance out the scales? Can the Predator murder all the hunters?
Hopefully.
We'll find out.
It almost reminds me of the Jason game they came out with.
No, it super does.
Where it's like
Friday the 13th.
One person is Jason, The other are the campers. The only difference in this one, it kind of seems like to me, where it's like
now it's in a jungle.
Now the campers actually have some guns and they can fight.
Yeah,
not
I mean,
like
you
in
had
Friday
some
the 13th.
stuff where you could stall him. He was basically invincible, but you could stall him.
But you couldn't like, hey, we're gonna try to kill him.
Yeah, I mean,
it was either hey, let's
you could,
escape
half
in the
kill
car,
him, but he would recover.
Yeah.
So, meh. Looks like it'll be fun. I like some previous games of the style, so we'll see if it comes around. Medieval remake, good for it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, with me, I'll be honest, I skipped that one
continuation
because I never played.
I'm afraid to use which term now after Final Fantasy VII.
I'll be honest
Final
with
Fantasy's
that one.
mystery.
I skipped it because I wasn't a huge medieval fan back in the day.
The art style's fun. The gameplay's fun. If you have a couple hours to play a game, it's a fun time waster, to be fair.
Yeah, definitely.
And then the final one is Welcome to the Jungle. And that
Welcome
is
to the jungle.
you're playing as a little squirrel cat. Squirrel cat?
A meerkat.
It's flying
A
squirrel.
flying squirrel, thank you.
Away, right? That's what it's called?
Welcome to
Yeah.
the jungle in a way. The Survivor series.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it looks cool. It's one of those things where it's like, do I expect that it's going to be my favorite game and then I'm going to rave about it? No, but I expect that I'm going to have a really cool time playing it for a while and then kind of move on.
Yep.
But like for what it is, I wouldn't spend $60 on it. But if I can get this game for, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's not going to be 60.
If I can get this game for like $15-$20, I'd be happy. I'd be happy to play it. It looks cool.
I think the big thing for me is like it's got a good artsy style to it.
Yeah.
The soundtrack better be dope. Like if the soundtrack is absolutely like fitting to the style of visuals
With the narrator
then
who
you get
sounds like
immersed.
he's trying to be Morgan Freeman because I
I
can't
thought it was David
tell.
Attenborough.
Well, it's not like
Okay.
they were going to hire Morgan Freeman.
No, I know, but it sounds like you trying to be like Morgan Freeman there, bud.
David Attenborough. That's what I'm going on Games Radar for all my info right now, and that's who they claim it's the attempt at.
Okay.
Fair enough. He does all the wildlife videos, obviously.
Yeah.
But for me, that like the gameplay itself looks visually appealing. Storyline, I'm gonna be very curious to see how you're gonna make me care about this flying squirrel. They're already cute as hell, so it's not gonna take much.
They've got an easy advantage of just cute animals.
Yeah.
And the
Being
animals that
attacked
were
by predators.
well, yeah, the animals that were attacking you were all not cute animals. for most
Snakes,
people.
scorpions.
Yeah, like so you're gonna.
It's really
naturally
reinforcing,
feel pretty-
the whole like what the book looks like on the outside. Judge it because it's correct.
Judge it.
Snakes are evil.
They are. They definitely are.
why
Actually,
Katie's a
speaking
snake,
of speaking of evil things, when I was in Austin, Texas,
Shameless plug.
the pool
Shameless
of
plug.
this
For
really
what?
nice
Austin, Texas.
place that we were in, this nice hotel. This pool had a dead, and I say it's a baby, but it might not like a dead baby. But like,
I was gonna say a
didn't
dead
finish-
baby.
I
Josh,
didn't
you
finish
literally
my
going dead
sentence.
babies.
I didn't finish my sentence, but like, I assume it's a baby because of the fact of it being really small. But I know they can be small, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Scorpion experts can let me know. Anyways,
Yeah, thank you for clarifying
baby
scorpion after teasing dead baby for
I
about
thought
30 seconds there,
I thought
Mark.
dead baby jokes were coming back.
Getting
No,
demonetized
worry.
right now.
It was probably about like that big.
Okay.
So little camera like that big. It
Little
wasn't
camera.
It wasn't that huge or anything, but it was dead, drowned in the pool, and it was like there's a fucking scorpion in the pool.
I'm going to swim in this.
It was. It's what I always say when people talk about like places like Arizona and stuff like that. It's like there's places where scorpions are. These things want to murder you.
Yeah.
This one wanted to murder people so badly, it went into a pool to try and do it. To try and surprise children and kill them. And it drowned itself.
I am perfectly fine with like just normal spiders and centipedes and non-scorpions in the Chicagoland area.
Oh man, centipedes have fucking freaked me out.
Yeah, but I would deal
Especially
with
the
them
really big
way
ones.
more
All
than
them
scorpions.
legs, and
Yeah.
they move so quick.
But compared to scorpions, fuck that.
no.
I know, right? Fuck that.
You just saw the involuntary shoulder twitch there.
I heard it in the headphones.
I know,
too.
my
Like, oh,
headphone
your
crunched.
shoulder.
It crunched. It's not good. That's how much I dislike them.
So, random
Give
story
me
time.
deadly animal
So-
over disgusting looking animal. 100 times out of 100.
So, speaking of bugs, really quick, I'm going
Sure.
to tell a story, a little anecdote from my life. So, I was having dinner with my mother the other night, and a bug fell from the ceiling fan, like right next to her food. And she literally did what you did. Like
Yeah, they just-
the plate went up in the air. She's like, "Oh my like ran out of the room, and I'm like, I even got jarred. So I'm like, what the hell just happened? And it was like a little bug, like silverfish, like that big.
Those are gross.
Kind of like the same way Dave just kind of twitched.
No.
I had never seen a silverfish until I was like 26 years old. That's the first time I ever saw a silverfish.
Apparently they like books, I hear.
Books. Interesting. I only
better
ever,
not keep any of those around anymore.
right? I only ever will find them in our one of our bathrooms because I think they like water.
They could like water.
I don't know. I also learned that apparently it's not super uncommon for ants to end up in your bathroom because they also like water.
Yeah,
and
ants
that's
are
a place
jerks.
where there's water.
Silverfish like water, and they eat the glue that is used in
Paper books.
Yeah, paper and books.
Interesting.
That makes a lot of sense. Librarians
assholes.
must hate them.
Because I used to have a friend that she had a huge book collection,
Silverfish
and she was like,
librarians hate them.
she's like, I have to clean it out regularly to make sure
Gotcha.
there's no silverfish in her book collection.
All right. And on that
Talk
wonderful
about animals,
transition,
right?
Yeah.
on that wonderful transition, let's go over to the hyper polarizing topic of loot boxes. We've covered them a couple times in the past.
Yeah.
But just recently,
And it's never not been heated. when we
it
talk
always
about
does
loot
get pretty
boxes.
heated. Recently, Senator Josh Hawley announced that a bill would come into place that would ban loot boxes and pay-to-win microtransactions in games played by minors. Basically, any kid under the age of 18 whose developers knowingly allow minor players to engage in microtransactions. I think this is a huge step in the right direction. The fact that the government is getting involved and is trying to protect children from making decisions that they're not really capable of understanding the consequences of them or the entire situation and the odds behind them.
Yeah.
So I think this is a massive step forward because so often it's local laws and no one cares and it's like, well, we can kind of skirt that. I remember Blizzard had to change some things up in a couple of countries' releases
China.
of games. China specifically.
China, they had to have the exact odds for what to get.
And I swear,
certain
like
things.
One of the northern countries, like Norway, Sweden, somewhere up in there, there's also some stuff about just flat out like
I think they banned it.
They banned them entirely, and it was
Yeah.
just like you have all the content. I think it was Battlefront 2 was the big one that came out like that, or maybe it was a Call of Duty. But yeah, I'm personally in favor of this new law being put in place. Ricky, what are your thoughts? Because I think you're going to be the polar opposite.
Well, the reason why I'm polar opposite is I want to make a distinction really quick. I like the headline of the Reddit post that you sent us says bill
sir.
to ban loot boxes. For me, take loot boxes and throw it out the window. I hate using that term because not all loot boxes are created equal.
It is a box full of loot, though.
The second, no. The second part of that, which says pay to win microtransactions, I am all on board with that. Like, to me, I feel like it's because I'm an Overwatch guy that I kind of have a little sentimental kind of skin in the game here. Even though I don't own anything for Overwatch, like stock or anything. Like, I didn't.
You
make
don't
the
own
game.
Activision stock? Okay.
But it's like pay to win is bad to me, where everyone should be on a level playing field. Just because you have more money than I do and can spend more shouldn't mean you should have better gear and be better than me just because you paid for it. Whereas loot boxes in general, I don't think are as bad. Like if it's like what Overwatch does, where it's like, hey, they're skins, they're emotes, they're things where it's like, doesn't affect the gameplay really. It just affects how your character looks and stuff.
Here's the thing, and I'm gonna say it's gonna sound harsh, but it's not necessarily meant to be that harsh. You're completely missing the point, though. The point has nothing to do with making sure video games are fair, whether it is a competitive advantage or not. None of that matters to a lawmaker.
Oh, I get it. It's all about like Dave said,
It's about the kids spending money that
And
they can't understand what they're doing.
and this is me personally. Maybe this is a little bit ignorant of me.
You're not a father.
I stand of it on the side of like, you know what? Like,
Not that he knows of.
is it? Well, yeah, that I know of. But like,
He is still
it's
basically
not-
he is the man child though, so
Yeah.
child's in the name.
It's not the business's job to worry about, hey, how our kid. No, it's the parent's job to basically say, hey, I'm going to monitor what my kid does. And I know everyone's situation is not the same. I'm just going to throw it out there. But parent, guardian, whoever, hey, what is my kid doing on the internet? Because nowadays there are so many ways to monitor that stuff to where I feel like, yes, there are loopholes around it, but if it's one of those issues where it's like, hey, you can't be trusted with it, guess what? Take it away. Like, if the kid can't be trusted with, oh, he's stealing my credit card and buying all these loot boxes, well, then take the damn system away because the kid can't be trusted with it.
But that's the problem is not necessarily that, because that's a reactive thing that, yes, parents probably are taking it away. And I know plenty of parents that have taken away cell phones and things like that. It never works. It never addresses the problem. Any parent will tell you that taking a cell phone away does not stop the kid from doing the thing you wanted them to stop doing. With, a few exceptions of the kids that are good kids anyways and just made an honest mistake, whatever. But your average kid is not going to be caring or really affected by that. They'll figure out another way.
Yeah.
A perfect example, I remember, somebody who had their phone taken away so they couldn't go on the internet and had internet access taken away. I was like, okay, cool. Load up the PlayStation, go right on the internet browser on the PlayStation.
Well, but now you have, even on like internet services, you know what? I'm just going to cut off, I'm just going to shut down the router.
Yeah.
Sure, but then
how many parents
they also have
that?
That's there.
different device, and that's the thing where it's like parents that are like our parents' age might be like, oh,
technology,
we don't know about
it's
that.
Tough.
But the people who are like us that are now starting to have kids, I'm assuming that we're gonna that the younger people that are growing up into adults are more hip into technology.
But the problem is that there's always new technology. I mean, if I talk to my sister-in-law who's 17 years old, she's doing shit that I've never even heard of. She's using apps that I've never heard of, and I work with teenagers.
Yeah.
So, it's just, the parents are always going to be behind. I totally agree with you on one thing you said, which is, it is not the business's responsibility to look out for the people. I actually, as liberal of a person as I am, I actually agree with that point. It's not the business's standpoint. It is the government's standpoint to come in, and it's the government's responsibility to make sure those businesses don't screw over the people. And that's exactly what this is. So that's the thing where I'm like, this is exactly how it should work. The capitalist business, because that's unfortunately, in my opinion, the way it works, that they're going to try and do anything they can to make money.
Exactly.
I would love businesses to have a little bit more social responsibility and more social conscious, but that's just not the way it is.
Right.
All right, I know that. So because of that, business is going to try and do whatever it can. The government steps in and says, okay, but here's your guidelines. The thing that bugs me about this, though, is because all this loot box stuff with kids spending the money, I don't think is actually legal anyways. So if you're younger than 18 years old, you are not able to enter into contracts. That's why they always say, get your parents' permission to do this.
Yep.
Yeah.
You always need parent or guardian permission because you are not mentally competent enough to enter into a legal contract. I would argue this is basically the same thing.
It is.
That spending this money is a child doing something that they are not technically legally, mentally competent enough to do.
Yep.
To where when they had does anyone remember when you could you could join a club and they send you a CD every month?
Yeah.
Like Sony Music Club or whatever it was. So I had a college professor who said when he was young, he did that and he got a bunch of them and just never paid for them. And they got mad and were like, well, you have to pay. And his argument was, I'm 14.
We
I don't have to
signed
pay
up for
you.
ESPN the magazine at one time, and we just canceled it right away, and we're like, yeah, we're not paying for this.
Well,
they still sent us 3 months.
Yeah, he was actually getting the months worth of these CDs and just couldn't pay. And his thing was, you guys can't legally have me pay it. And I don't know if anyone's tried to test that.
Nowadays, though, the companies will go, okay, we can't go after you. We'll just go after your parents.
Well, the whole thing is whose credit card was it? Your parents?
Exactly.
Well, that looks like they're on the hook.
Bingo.
Yep.
It's like the old, I know it goes way back, but remember when iPhones first were a thing, app stores?
Yeah.
People would have the $1,000 apps that kids would accidentally click on and oh, well, you bought the app, no fucking refunds. The app does nothing, by the way. Thanks for the money.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, and they put in place parental controls on that. The problem with a game like Overwatch is once you have the currency, you don't have to go back. So it's a one-time purchase thing, and you could be good to go. But at the same time, I know there are parental controls in place on PlayStation for spending like that, but I don't know about every system, everything out there. I just go back to the thought of like, yes, this is a proposed bill. Yes, this isn't like locked up yet. But I think it's great to have almost, like Mark said, like an oversight committee for this, because it's something that's been going on for years now and like hasn't really been addressed head on by anyone.
Two things I want to say. First, to go off of something you said, were with the whole contract thing. The thing that I first thought of was, have it to where like, okay, we have little Jimmy here who's 16. His profile says he's 16. So PlayStation knows, hey, we can't, like, let's say he goes to buy something before it goes through. All right, I'm going to send a text to the parent number that is on file. Hey, is it okay?
That
Answer
the kid
yes
will
or
just
no.
put as their own phone number.
Well, not just that. I'm thinking also how many times when with YouTube, it's like, can't watch this until you're over 18. Or let's be honest, when we were young and watch porn, are you over 18? Abso-fucking-lutely, I'm over 18. And you click that button and you go right through.
Unfortunately, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'll man up. I did it numerous times when I was younger.
There you go. But you could have just used the safe example of like MySpace. You had to be over 16 to use.
Yeah, whatever. I'm going real life.
Tinder
real life
had to be over a certain age to use.
That's a scary game.
Yeah. That is playing with fire, children. You do not want to do that.
But I think the second thing is, and I'm looking at the headline that you sent us, and this is where, this is the thing that got me so fired up the first time I read it, is the word ban. Like, I feel like banning loot boxes, bad. What Mark was talking about, having guidelines for them, I'm okay with that. I'm just not okay with, you know what? We don't like this, so we're going to ban it.
Yeah,
so
but they use the word ban, but I don't think they actually mean the word ban. People use it's like when people talk, and we don't need to have a political conversation, but when people talk about gun bans, they're very rarely actually trying to ban every single gun. It's just rules and certain kinds and certain things that they want to, get rid of.
Like the gun stocks? Or whatever
the bump stocks, which that one actually I think did happen.
That went through,
so like that's the thing when they say ban, I think they don't actually mean ban.
In their entirety.
Yeah. But yeah, I love the thing with the parents' phone, just because of in my working experience, you'll be all right, let me call your parent. Kid's cell phone starts ringing.
Yep.
Pulls it out, hits cancel, puts it back. Oh, your mom hung up on me, kind of a thing.
No matter what parental controls you place, there's always a workaround. There's always a workaround.
The thing I also think about, too, is why are we, like, what all of a sudden was like, loot boxes are the devil, Bobby?
I wonder that, too, actually,
because
why it came up.
Well, even when we were kids, how long has EA had the Ultimate Teams? Like, I remember... And this was way back, but it's like when we were in high school playing NHL and it being like, hey, Mom, can I go ahead and buy these packs with your credit card? Yeah, sure. It's going to be a one-time thing. Yeah, sure. And then just like a few months later, I noticed, it's still on credit. She won't miss $1. And like I bought a pack for $1. To where it's like we've had these, like I would say that those
microtransactions
are loot boxes. They're loot packs, basically. You're opening this pack, getting players and items for your Ultimate Team. Nobody threw a big stink about it back then.
Well, I mean, it takes a while for people to know what it was. You're not going to just instantly...
And it wasn't as rampant in the frontier games as everything right now with Fortnite, Apex, like all these popular games, even Mortal Kombat 11, which just released a couple weeks ago. Basically has these, walls in the game where it's like, yeah, you have to kind of pay if you want to get through this game reasonably because of the difficulty setting of these matchups. Like, okay, well, I have to use this. I have to pay money to get items. So that way I can boost myself up for this one specific fight. And it's like, why the fuck? And then, I don't know if you've seen, like, they're full, like, to collect every item in the game, it's a shit ton of money.
Okay, I saw that one. But I did see they had a response to it. But, like, for me in Mortal Kombat... Like, I am just like,
no, but
checked out.
These are the most popular games of today, and they're all dependent on microtransactions.
I just wonder, kind of what you were saying. I mean, we're taking it in slightly different directions, but I do wonder what prompted this for this senator.
Is it just
to bring
because
it up.
Fortnite
Because he's
became
39 years old.
I mean, yeah. Is it that he's a gamer? Is it that like
it's actually relevant to
He's
him?
got
Yeah.
enough. Like his child's playing Fortnite, and he's like, "Why the hell did I just get charged $100?"
100%.
You
I
know?
think that has a lot to do with it.
I'm very interested.
It's
to know
perspective.
What it was.
A bunch of
Yeah.
65-year-old white men aren't going to care about charging kids money to play video games and get stuff that doesn't exist in real life. Yeah, go ahead, kids. Don't care.
Yeah.
But you get someone from our generation who is, it's a little bit older than our generation, but still not too far out of like too far removed. And he's more in touch with things that relate to us. So I think it's entirely just as time shifts, you know, different topics will hit a main focus.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't know if this will actually go anywhere. You know, he just basically proposed it. So there's a long way to go if anything happens. And if it gets twisted and turned, like Mark said, where it turns into, it's really just going to focus on games that are of this rating. Maybe it will only be like
Because right
G
now,
games don't have
right now,
the ability.
M-rated games are fine.
Yeah.
In the way it's written right now, because just focus on the minors.
Yep.
And then I think the assumption is, well, the parent would have had to buy them the M-rated game, so therefore the parent is okay with it.
I got carded for an M-rated game last year.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Do you know how embarrassing that is?
I got carded.
29.
I got carded this year for one. Oh, what one was it? It was what was one of the? I think it might have been the Division. No, Division I bought online.
Was it Red Dead?
Even with the ginger beard?
No, it wasn't because I bought that one when I was buying Black Friday stuff with my parents. It was at the Best Buy.
Yeah.
Kid was super like 5 years younger than us, and he was like, "Can I see your ID?" And I went,
The fuck for?
"For what?" He goes, "To make sure you can buy this game." I was like, my first response was literally, "The beard isn't enough." Like, come on, kid.
Yeah.
Like, 17-year-old's not growing.
To be
this
fair-
wrinkly thing. I know, Dave. You can look at the shirt all you want. Like, I still showed
You
him.
dress like a-
I still showed him the card.
Yeah.
That's also discrimination, by the way.
I'm going to discriminate against you.
How I dress does not mean how much I.
We just had a
engaged.
conversation that said,
Right.
judge the book by the cover.
But basically, I showed him the card, and he went, "Oh." I was like, "Damn right."
I know at like places
One of
like
these.
like Walmart and stuff, it's supposed to be if you look like you're under 40,
Yeah.
you're supposed to get carded. But as someone in college worked at Walmart, when I'd be at a register, it's like that always made you feel really like kind of bad because you're like, you know, especially you get let's say you get a mom up there, you know she's probably like in her mid 40s, but you're like, I gotta ask for her card. I don't want her to think that I think she's
Exactly.
old.
No, 100% right. It's an ego thing at that point.
Yeah.
My older brother, Brett, has a very gray beard. And I mean,
Yes.
it's a full beard, but it is gray. And a lot of people, we play the game dad or brother because it's a fun guessing game where people don't know what to answer in a lot of situations. But I got carded, and then I look and I'm like, are you going to card him? And they're like, no, that's okay. I believe he's over 21. And I'm like, bullshit.
Yeah. I honestly feel
Why would we card your dad, Dave?
So
you
ridiculous.
know what does it for you? I think because I never get carded like anymore. I think it's the wedding ring.
Ah.
I pretty much never get carded. Even with Vicky and my wife definitely looks young.
Yeah.
And yeah, we won't get carded. And I think it's the wedding ring.
That's the answer, Mark. I just need to go get married so I can not
Right?
get carded anymore.
We
Why
went
didn't I think of this earlier?
into like a little. It's not a winery, but like a wine store, and just like went and like, all right, we're gonna do a tasting. All right, just take out the glasses. What do you want?
Yep.
And it was like, cool, no questions asked. Not gonna care.
A lot of those are fun, yeah.
Yeah. One thing I'll bring up. The last thing I want to bring up about this. The loot boxes.
Oh, we're talking about loot boxes.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
And it's actually not about loot boxes, but I just think it's the only thing that makes me put a tiny bit of a pause.
Yeah.
Because speaking of old white guys,
Yep.
they always want to blame video games for everything that's wrong. It's
true.
Because it's convenient and they just don't understand. I mean, there wasn't that long ago that I saw Facebook articles from some of the, these are older white women, but I don't know why I emphasized white. It should have been emphasizing women and that because the first time was men. But anyways, talking about how these violent video games are the downfall of whatever.
Yeah.
It does that one thing that's like, if you put one regulation on video games, and there are some already, but you put some regulation on video games, does that prompt the other people the next time there's a shooting or something like that? Because we get them, almost every day.
Reactionary.
Say,
Well, we just had one in Colorado.
we'll do. Yeah, I think it was yesterday. Yeah, we'll do another one. We'll ban the violent video games too. Like it's just
Well, it's like,
there's a little bit of that.
did you hear what like Sony's doing now? with like, it was like, the way I heard it was, if you play Devil May Cry on PlayStation, and then play it on Xbox, the way the female character is dressed is vastly different on Xbox than it is PlayStation. Like anything sexual content, Xbox is what you're looking for.
Yeah, they're trying to make it less sexual, which actually I'm okay with, because half the time these characters are meant to look very young, but with
that's
huge
like
boobs.
something.
I'm okay
like
with
that's
them.
another thing I thought of when like you said that, where it's like that's a PlayStation thing, where Xbox is like, fuck it, whatever.
The developers built it this way. We're not going to restrict them.
I also find it interesting because in this Reddit post, this was from 12/18 today.
Yeah.
Don't know if that's Eastern or Central time.
Should match your time.
The update said the Entertainment Software Association, the video game industry lobbyist group, sent over a statement shortly after this bill was introduced, saying this. Numerous countries, including Ireland, Germany, Sweden, Denmark, Australia, New Zealand, and the UK, determined that loot boxes do not constitute gambling. We look forward to sharing with the Senator the tools and information the industry already provides that keeps the control of in-game spending in parents' hands. Parents already have the ability to limit and prohibit in-game purchases with easy-to-use parental controls. End quote.
I just can't wait till schools are going to have parent lessons like they do for vaping and bullying and stuff like that on
About loot
how
boxes.
to control your Fortnite playing kid.
Honestly, not a bad idea. The amount of video game addiction, like parents just don't know how to deal with that sometimes. And again, it's aging out of the expected range. You don't know what the norm is anymore.
Yeah.
So it's jokingly funny, but at the same time, you're like, maybe it might be helpful to some people.
Maybe it's just me. I never did it on a school night because I was one to where it's like, I got to get up for school. But like in the summer and on the weekends, just take like, if kids stays up till 3 a.m. playing Fortnite, for me, just take Fortnite out and put WoW in.
Yeah, no, I did
It was
that.
the same thing.
But I did that on school nights too. And my grades definitely suffered.
Yeah.
Like that was a problem.
Like naturally they will if you stay up till 3 a.m.
Had my parents had better control over that, would I have been a better student? Absolutely.
But I mean, don't you think like you would have just
found another vice?
Found another vice, or just like, all right, parents are asleep, I'm gonna get up, put it back in, and now we play again, because that's what most kids do.
Yeah, no, I mean you're gonna find if you don't want to do it, you're gonna find every possible way to not do it. Yeah, that's the problem. But still, it's a step in the right direction. You got to treat them, you got to work with them. I think the microtransaction thing's a big deal. It does have some interesting impacts if it goes through for a lot of the free-to-play games who continue to support their studio, support their devs through that funding. So we'll keep a close eye on this one as it continues to roll through legal methods, legal process.
The legal system.
Yeah, the legal system. That's pretty much it, though. Any final thoughts, boys?
The only... You know what? I was going to bring it up.
Not much of a thought. Never mind. No thoughts.
No thoughts. Not going up here.
Johnny,
nope, thanks. I'm going to wrap it up now.
Go ahead.
No, really.
No, Johnny, I know we had talked about it before, but Johnny sent me something on Facebook Messenger because that's what Johnny likes to use.
He does. Yeah, it's weird.
Johnny, I love you, but Facebook Messenger is not my jam. He basically sent that apparently there were leaks or confirmed data that basically the Assassin's Creed, the next one we're getting, is going to be Assassin's Creed Ragnarok, which is basically going to be Norse mythology.
Oh, yeah, we thought about that. Yeah,
so what we had said, people thought it was going to be, apparently it is going to be.
Confirmed?
So it says here, this is from onlysp.com. So, Johnny, I don't know if you're getting the best sources. It just says
the legitist.
A leak on 4chan, because that's really a credible source.
Honestly, it's
as preserved on Reset Era, has revealed a bunch of exciting details for the next Assassin's Creed project, reportedly entitled Assassin's Creed Ragnarok. In gameplay terms, these kingdoms. So it's basically you're going to be kingdoms, Viking King of Denmark and Sweden, around the time he is forming the Great Heathen Army. Players will be an assassin, complete the quintessential hidden blade.
Oh, you'll be an assassin.
Lore-wise, the game is rumored to include finding the first civilization vault and legendary relics like Thor's hammer, because I can't say its name.
Modular.
Mjolnir?
Mjolnir. Mew Mew.
Yeah, Mew.
Modular.
I mean,
basically
I'm
we're
down
gonna
for
be
Assassin's
Vikings.
Creed: The Pacifist, Mark. You want to do that instead of playing as an assassin, you play as a pacifist?
That'd be great.
And you're like,
Assassin's Creed Gandhi.
and we need to come together and discuss these problems like men.
You're going to
Hey,
sneakily grab people and bring them to have a discussion.
Socrates was all over that in the last Assassin's Creed.
Oh
you go.
shit!
He was a very pacifist. Was like, hey,
Socrates.
we don't need to basically.
Good old Socrates.
Yeah.
That's how they pronounced it.
By the way,
too,
Bill and Ted,
proper way.
gonna be interesting. Not just that movie being number 3, baby.
Uh-huh.
That's gonna be weird. Old Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Well, Keanu Reeves looks okay. It's what's the actor's name?
I don't know the actor's name.
The other one looks like fucking old.
Yeah.
Where
Well, that's
they-
because Keanu Reeves is like still.
Yeah, he was born in the
doing
17th
things.
century. Like
Yeah,
we have proof. There's paintings.
He's John fucking Wick, man.
Yeah.
So
Don't fuck
anyway,
with John Wick or his dog.
especially not his dog. Anyway, that'll do it for Too Old to Game. That's Mark Weber. That's Ricky Widmer. I've been your host, Dave Oster. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Check out patreon.com if you want to support us. We appreciate it all. Thanks so much, everybody.